another PNWild review. We are talking about bino harnesses today, and that's something that I really truly love. I've gone through probably 356 of them, trying to find that sweet spot.
It's more of a hate than a love.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship, and I've yet to find one that just hit the mark. But as you look through here, you can see one that kind of has multiples of itself. And this year, we are blessed to be working with Marsupial gear, and we're super jacked on them so far.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a little rundown. Zach, what do you think of them so far?
I think they're great. The magnet open and close is really awesome. It allows for really good ease of use with one hand, opening and getting your binos in and out.
Right way.
Yep, yes. It folds away from you.
Away from your face, not
solid.
Up in your mouth.
Yep.
Look at your binos. There's a flap here. There's a flap here tickling my face. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We got the harnesses and the rangefinder pouches as well to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, right there. And
GPS.
Rangefinders are the same.
Yep, got the magnets on top and bottom. So when you flop it open, the magnet catches on the bottom. So then you don't just have a flap dangling around either.
Which is cool because you can run it open.
Yep.
When you know you're not going to be, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
You can just run it open and have it quick access.
Yep. Yeah, if it's super nice weather, you don't need to fully cover your binos up.
Yep.
You can just run that thing open and it's just, your binos are going to be right there. It's going to be, I think all of us are very excited to run them.
I haven't been this excited about a piece of gear in a long time. And last year and in the years prior, I've always just complained about a bino harness not fitting all of my needs. It checks most of the boxes, but not all of them. And this year, I honestly think this one's going to check them all. And just a little bit in the past, I've tried Kuiu, Sitka, FHF, Alaskan Guy Creations, Muley Freak. That's just to name a few. I've tried several bino harnesses, and like I said, I've been happy with them. Most happy with all of them, but they haven't really checked all the boxes for me. And this year, the main thing is that the harness opens outward, and it has magnets. You're not trying to latch a string or something to keep your binos, intact. So this one here, I'm super excited about it. And we'll start off down here on the left with talking about 2018 harness.
Yep.
And then how you felt about it.
Yeah, so I've run the Muley Freak bino harness for 2 seasons now. I got it in 2017, ran it that year, and then also in 2018. I enjoyed it. I don't really have too many complaints. I'm not super picky when it comes to a harness. I've run my rangefinder in this front pocket right here. I always kept like my tags or something else in this little back pocket. The side pockets fit either calls, or I have like a little lens cleaner and my wind checker. That all fits fine. The buckles and the actual harness itself aren't the highest grade. The harness itself isn't super comfortable. It's got a little bit of, hot spots on my neck or on my sides or whatever, but it's nothing that really affected me during a hunt or a hike or anything. It's just like little tiny things that you notice when you run a piece of gear as often as we do. It does open the correct way away from you, but it doesn't get you that full flop open like the Marsupial does. So it could be a little bit tighter getting your binos in and out of it.
With one hand.
I found that your bino, like the little wheel or something would catch as you're trying to pull it out or put it back in. And if you don't have the little tethers clipped, you could try and put it back in and your binos might fall out because you didn't get it all the way in.
And I think that's super important is it easily get your binos out and put them away with one hand, because a lot of times you have your bow in your hand, you have a rifle in your hand,
a camera,
or a camera for us. So getting it in and out with one hand has been a huge deal for us, and it's just been frustrating that most of these you cannot with one hand effectively. A lot of them you can, but it might take you an extra 2-3 seconds or whatever. But it's just so nice to have something that can stay open, or you can nudge it open and put it within one hand and quickly.
The one good thing about the Muley Freak versus like the Marsupial is you can see it's fully enclosed on the side. So nothing gets in. Whereas like the Muley Freak, it's open on the side. So if you're going through heavy timber, sorry. If you're going through heavy brush or pine needles or whatever, they're going to fall in that side, where this one is fully enclosed. Same with if it's raining super hard or whatever. This comes with a little rain cover as well. So just like the Marsupial does. But Yeah, that's one advantage to the Muley Freak is it's fully enclosed, so it really keeps your binos super protected if you're busting brush, in the rainforest of Washington or Oregon or something. That full coverage is going to be nice.
Perfect. So 2 questions for you. Was it comfortable to wear?
It was comfortable, but it wasn't perfect.
Okay. And would you recommend it?
Yeah, I would recommend it. I don't really have any personal problems with it. Like I said, just that ease of use with one hand. Because it is fully enclosed, it doesn't open up all the way. So getting your binos in and out of it with one hand with a rangefinder in this pocket can be a little bit challenging. But, the more you use it, the more you get used to it. And you notice those little things, but you learn to live with them.
Perfect. Okay. Patrick.
Yeah, so last season, for the whole season, I was running the Alaska Guide Creations. This is their Cub Kiss, which is for Keep It Simple, which is...
Stupid.
Yeah, simple, stupid. I was going to leave that one out. I chose this one because it's the slickest of the Alaska Guide Creations. It doesn't have like a large pocket that sticks off the front. Previously, I've used that vortex, the vortex that I believe is produced by Alaska Guide Creations.
I do believe so.
I want to say that
not this one, but
the guide,
yes,
the guide,
yes.
the vortex guide, and then I've used a couple other bino harnesses as well. And I really like this one, to be honest. I like the pocket on the bottom is super handy.
That's for tags and.
Actually, I ran my rangefinder in it almost all the time. It's pretty big. It's pretty convenient. But I like that they stacked it and made it taller rather than deeper.
Okay.
Because it keeps kind of that
low profile
footprint that hanging off of you as low as possible. And then I really like the side pouches on this. They fit every wind checker that I could find. And funny enough, I know that Bob and Jeff did not like the bungee and hook fixture on their harnesses from last season.
Nope.
I really liked this one. It works super well for me. It's adjustable down here in the pocket. You can adjust the tension.
And I think I'd rather pull up like that.
Exactly, and this gravity is wanting to keep this clipped when you got because it clips the other way. And I know, like when Jeff's talking about the flap coming back in your face, this one being formed and much shorter.
Yeah, that flap is much shorter.
It does not come up into your face, and I found I could run this one-handed all day long. There was no issue with that for me.
You could easily get binos in and out.
Totally, 100%. Yeah, I never had an issue with that on this because it's so stiff. You could run it. I ran it unlocked a lot of times, and you can literally just tap, and it's all the way up out of the way. The inside has super soft, low friction,
so
quiet material, so you can sneak binos in and out without a bunch of noise. And the kind of a trend for all my gear, it's straight bomb proof. Like it's made super strong and really just.
Yeah, you can clearly tell that the thing. There's no major stitching issues or anything like that.
And you can tell. Look, the difference in the buckles from the Muley Freak to that.
A huge difference.
Even to the Marsupial buckles too.
Totally. Yeah, the Marsupial buckles are even one more.
Exactly.
And a pretty cool. We figured out when we were hunting in grizzly country this year. A pretty cool feature. I like this big bungee deal they got on the top of the lid. It's got actually 2 different tiers. But you can slide a phone in there.
That's the 8 Plus. That's the big boy.
This is a big boy. I very rarely ran it in there because it makes the lid operate just slightly differently. So I didn't run around with my phone in there.
That's a good tip.
But when you're in the dark and you're in grizzly country, and you want to play some Pandora offline streaming, it was really handy to just drop this in there and walk down the trail. So I will say the bungee is not completely useless. I kind of thought going in. But just kind of parlaying off that, I'm stoked about the Marsupial because it's got a very similar sleek, flat design. It's got the same crazy good build quality. I was very surprised to see the clips that they're running. I can't remember what they're called, but they have the locking tabs on the adjustments, which I'm a huge fan of because one complaint I will say, the harness for this Guide Creations.
A complaint on the AGC?
Not a complaint, but the harness is super nice. I love the harness on the AGC because it's got that mesh that kind of spreads out and gives it a super good footprint. But the one complaint I would say, the side adjustments for your torso around, those would loosen. over time. So
okay.
like maybe once a day, I'd have to like
Re-tighten them
yank
back up.
and tighten them back up to keep it really, because I like it really, really as tight as it can get.
Gotcha.
And with the adjustments being locked on the Marsupial, it's I know I'm not going to run into that issue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yank them, in the morning when I put it on, and it's going to stay like that all
Until you
day
take
because
it
it's
off.
literally got a tension lock.
Yeah.
Like you would have to push the button to release that tension. So I'm definitely excited about that.
That's good, man. And then up next is Bob.
Yeah, so for 2018, I ran the FHF, and things I liked about it, it's extremely comfortable. You pull it
Yeah.
tight, it stays snug to your chest.
It's got a really low profile.
Yeah, it's really low profile. It's not sticking out, getting in the way. I like the looks of it. But aside from that, honestly, I didn't care for it all that much, especially the lid, because when you close it, it has a string and a hook. And
Grab it, show.
you can't really do it. You can do it with one hand, but it's just a pain in the butt. And I actually had to modify it. I cut it, made it a little shorter so it fit right. And you see it comes up, like the one where it goes out instead, with a magnet system like Marsupial has. And
It's just a much taller lid.
it's
too,
really
so
tall.
when
Yeah,
up
it's right
there-
here. Hey, where the deer at? I guess you can still see, but you can't talk.
Well, it's
Well,
different because of the hook system, unlike the AGC that has a little pull
Does it
tab.
have a tab?
It doesn't have a pull
It didn't
tab.
come with a tab, even new?
Did it? I
think
think
it
it
did.
might have,
I
but
think
I
it
had
did.
to.
And when you
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to
adjust
chop
it,
off
okay.
for some reason.
Because I can see how without a
They
tab.
did come with a tab.
Okay.
They
Okay,
did.
they did come with
We
a
must
tab.
have just cut them off.
And you can do it with one hand, I guess, but it's kind of a pain in the butt.
You have to wear it lower because the flap comes up
Yeah.
versus
Right.
keeping
And you
it
kinda
up high on your chest.
I would notice that you guys would have to hold the lid up to go in and out. Like you're physically having to
Yes.
hold
Yes.
the lid.
To put the
'cause
binos
it's in
back
the
in,
way.
you had to hold the lid
Yeah.
up to put your binos back in.
That's like what I was saying on the AGC. You're like your thumb can just push it out of the way and
Yeah.
it stays
it's
there.
It's a
because-
big lid.
and it's got it doesn't have any rigidity.
Right. And another thing, too, on the side pouches, we run the wind checkers, and you had to really, really try to push it in there. It wouldn't
Yeah,
stay.
it was just too tight.
Way too tight.
And usually they'll snap at the top when they're really tight.
Yeah.
I've noticed that with the Vortex. When you put a wind checker in there, it snaps right at the end when it falls off the top, and it's loud.
Yeah, and it's got the zipper on the side, and it only goes about, a little over halfway into the harness. So I couldn't even fit, my rangefinder or anything in there.
Or a knife, nothing like
Knife,
simple
it's just-
tag, something simple.
Maybe some reeds if you're hunting elk in September. Yeah, but other than that, it's pretty small. And then that's about it.
How
It's
do you
got
feel
these
about the
little-
harness?
It was really comfortable.
Okay, so,
So
you
it
like the
felt
harness
great.
a lot.
It was comfy,
Okay.
yeah. It's just,
I will second that. It was a really
Yeah,
comfortable
you ran
harness.
the same one
Yeah.
last year. So.
Yep.
It is like a nice, like very minimalistic design.
It is.
And that's what attracted me to it was that, look how low profile it is that when you have binos in there. It's nice and tight. There's no extra baggage going on, and that's what I wanted in a harness. Is I don't want to put my rangefinder in it. I like it on the hip or something else. But this year I found a new system for it. But that's why it attracted me to the FHF. Is just it was simple, just for binos,
Yeah.
and that's why I really liked it. And I'll just kind of tee off of Bob because I also ran the same exact harness. And last year I did with the rangefinder. With the Ranger 1800, it has a nice clip on the side. I would just put mine on the
See,
side.
I didn't have a clip on mine.
And I just ran it like that the entire season.
And that worked great.
Never fell off. I knew right where it was. It worked great, like he's saying.
Mhm.
I had no issues with it. It's not coming off.
Yeah.
It worked awesome. That's the system. This is the system that I use, just a different color. I had the same thing. And I will second that it was a super comfortable harness. They're super rugged,
It's not
durable.
bulky.
Yeah, I had no issues other than this issue.
The little string and the hook.
Yeah.
That, if
See
that was a
something.
magnet and a little smaller of a lid.
What a
Yeah.
clown.
And then you got to let's go get him.
But yeah, I'm super excited to try out the Marsupial. I got the multicam for the rangefinder pouch and the harness.
Yeah, that's
I love the magnet.
Good stuff.
All right, I think they get the point, Jeff.
Yeah.
And the magnet's super solid.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Nice pouches on the side and the back. Bigger granola bars in there and whatnot.
Case of beer.
Room for food?
Oh yeah, I love food.
So yeah, like I said, I used the FHF for the entire season last year. And then very early in 2019, I just used the one that the Vortex has come with. All in all, it's a decent little, I think it's like $50, right? on their site.
I don't even know if it's that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think on Amazon you could score it for like $35.
Yeah, so it's a super cheap, it's not rugged at all. So, I got a little bit of stuff in there.
Freedom seeds.
Yeah. But like it doesn't latch. You're gonna have to modify that. It's not gonna. I don't know what it's.
I think in general that it being that way just doesn't work because I had that on the Vortex as well.
It's just gonna pop
I think
open.
that the AGC they figured out the key to that whole bungee deal
It's
is
this
to
thing
have
called
it
gravity.
the other way
Exactly.
and let gravity help you out.
Yes.
With the bungee.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
didn't use it during
scientific
elk
thing.
season or
It's
anything, but
science.
it looks like this one can hold. Actually fit some sort of wind checker and some reeds.
Yeah, it's got some room in it.
Yeah, and then I did run actually the rangefinder on this one as well, but it's not as rugged as the FHF, so it kind of would sag, and you might end up dropping it. But just to keep binos out of the elements, I think this Vortex one, for the price being, you're not getting the build quality of Marsupial or AGC, but I mean, as you can tell, it's a little got some noise
A little
too.
loud.
That's
And
one
you're
of the
not
things
gonna-
about the Marsupial
Yeah,
that they
do
changed
do
this
with
year.
those. Yeah,
A lot
So
quieter.
way
Yeah.
better.
They got that super soft fabric on the
And
inside.
that's all
as
new
well.
with 2019.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
new.
19.
We'll go over a little bit of the Marsupial here just in a second and go over some more details with them. But just to wrap this one up, the Vortex one, for what it's worth, keeping your binos out of the elements. I wore it for a coyote hunt just here last month, and it did fine. If you're looking for something that's under $50,
It works.
I would honestly recommend this. The harness was perfect. No fails at all.
Very usable.
Yeah, it's
the price.
Exactly. For the price being, there is a pocket in the back. I just put the harness in there for the video, but it'll fit anything you want to put back there.
Well, and if you're only hunting 6 days a year,
yeah,
What-
It's
yeah,
keep it out of the
that'd
ring.
probably be the ticket.
yeah, no
Yeah,
reason to spend $100 on a
it's-
harness.
It's
Exactly.
cheap. You're not going to destroy it. I think that if you were to use that for an entire season or what
It
we're
might
doing,
fall apart.
it might fall apart because
Yes.
I don't think it's built for that. But
No.
if you're only hunting 6-7 days a year,
Yeah.
I think that'd probably do the trick, and it's cheap.
100%. Yeah, I can definitely see that this mesh is not going to last up of Western
it's gonna
Washington.
rip,
It's going to
yeah.
rip. Maybe this lid is already starting to a little bit of stitching back here. But like I said, if you're hunting 7 days, you're hunting a week out of the year. This thing is going to keep your binos out of the elements. It's going to keep your binos clean and dry. It's going to hold a wind checker, and it's going to keep your tags in this back pocket here. For $50,
It's
this
gonna
is the cheapest.
It's gonna
out of
feel
all
good on the
these.
budget.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is going to be your most comfortable on the wallet, and then the rest of these are all. I think all of them are over $100.
Right at, I think the Muley Freak is like $89.95.
Okay.
So with taxes and shipping, you're right at that $100. Same with Marsupial. I think they're all right at that $100
Yeah,
mark.
I can't say the
Yeah,
FHF
it was
is
a
like
little over
120, right?
115, 120.
Yeah, so I think the FHF might be the most expensive. Or what's the AGC?
I think the AGC is about $120 too.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
and then
Just north.
Marsupial comes in at
right around
105.
100. Yeah. Yep.
105. So yeah, it's double the price of this one here, and this is a very minimalistic thing that's going to keep binos out of the elements. So yeah,
Well, and if
I'd
you
recommend
buy a premium set of Vortex binos,
it.
you're gonna get that for free.
For
in
free.
a lot of
Yes.
cases.
Yep,
I know,
that is
like
true.
when I bought my razors,
hmm
I got that harness for
Exactly.
free
That's
with
what
them.
that's what
So
came with my binos.
I think if you're just wanting some premium glass and maybe you want to take it easy on the budget for a year,
it's going to.
I
keep
got
them out of
no
elements.
issue with just using those for a couple of seasons to get you by.
I 100% agree. So, Zach, why don't you tee off, or Patrick, whoever is really dive in on the Marsupial here for
Well,
2019?
For 2019, I know they redesigned this interior fabric.
Yep.
That's the big one that they were talking about. Is he wanted to find a fabric that was going to be quiet, and especially quiet when you get in those below freezing temperatures.
And still durable.
And still durable, yeah. And so when I was talking to the guy, he said that they had some complaints that when it got cold, their old harnesses would get a little loud on the inside, pulling your binos in and out. And so he was searching for a new fabric. He found one. This is the fabric they came up with. It's super soft, so it's not gonna scratch or resist against your binos, pulling them in and out. They're gonna slide in and out nice and easy, and it's gonna be quiet. And that fabric is all the way around the entire inside. The only thing that isn't that fabric is the flap itself.
The actual lid.
Yep. And so you get that out of your way, your binos aren't gonna rub against that anytime you pull it in and out.
Feels really nice.
That's a
too.
nice
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah. And then I think he changed up the buckle configuration just a little bit
The angle.
Yep, to be flatter against your body when it's on. And
Gotcha.
so
And I know that they were.
They were more
I think
vertical.
Shednex was telling us at the expo that they're actually more at an angle
Yep.
to pull them away from your neck because
Yep.
they were having.
So you got them at a 45
at first they
coming
were
out.
coming
a little bit.
straight up, and they.
And so now they're sticking out
They're at an
away
angle.
from your neck
Yeah.
so that harness sits
That's a
on your
good idea.
shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
it'll
that's
kick
a good
them out
idea.
away from your neck.
But I've worn it around the house, just trying it on, and kind of looking at it with the rangefinder pocket on here. I was like, oh, that might not be super comfortable, but you get that thing on, and it just contorts to your body and just kind of fits your body. And I didn't even notice that it was there. I may change up which side I run this on,
Sure.
just depending. But I mean, even with that being right in there, you can get your thumb in there and just flip that lid right open, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I know we're all super excited about it, and yeah, I'm very ready to get into the field and start using those things with, just that one hand use when you're filming something or trying to direct your buddy to something else, just being able to just do whatever and still get your binos
Just have
in and
freedom.
out.
It's just one less thing to think about.
Yep,
You're hunting.
I'm very excited about that, and like even this has the little pull tab for your main flap too, so you don't have to try and get your thumb underneath that or anything. This has the pull tab as well. I mean, I just
It
feel
looks
like
it's
he
a well thought.
exactly he thought it through
Yeah.
and was like, how can I make this easy to use? What are all these little tiny features that aren't going to add bulk,
Yeah.
but they're going to add ease of use? And I
Yeah.
feel like he's really thought a lot of those things through and
Yeah.
mitigated a lot of those tiny little issues that like someone who's picky about bino harnesses would have.
It's going to check all the boxes, and
Yep.
we're really excited about them this year, and we'll put the link down below in the comments.
Right.
So, one last thing, Zach.
Yeah, one last thing about the Marsupial for us guys in the Northwest who are hunting in rainy weather, inclement weather, anything like that. He does make a rain cover that will fully enclose the harness. And so then you can get that full protection from any pine needles, water.
I was just going to say,
Anything.
the guy at Shednex at the expo, he said that he wore it in archery when he was in on a stock just to keep the dust and dirt out of it because he was belly crawling.
Yep, and that's what Jim at Marsupial said was
Yeah.
that's who he sold them to because he's out of Arizona, and so he's selling to a lot of desert guys, and they'll run them when they're taking their ATVs in on those trails and keep
perfect.
the dust out.
Yep.
But I mean, as you can see, that thing fully encloses.
Well, and it has cutouts
Yep.
so that you can
So
run
there's
the
buckles and
harness.
feet
Exactly.
Yeah, you run the harness through it, and
Yep.
then when you're operating it, you can pull it down with the rain cover on,
Mm-hmm.
and it stay. I'm sure this is easier when it's on your body.
Yeah.
And it has some frame, but the rain cover can stay on, and then you can still operate
the lid.
the lid.
Yeah,
which
if
is
you're going to be
a
hunting
nice
in the
feature.
rainforest
Yeah.
where you're going to need that coverage all day.
Seems like it's really thought about every situation you're going to be in.
Every
Yep.
aspect,
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to beat.
for sure.
It definitely is. I think that's
Another
what
thing,
we're
too,
all
the-
excited about.
The clock, they come with that.
Yeah, he also has his own little
Spuds.
It's pretty neat looking.
spud little optic cleaner. Just kind of threw that in there. So I mean, yeah, we all got the rangefinder pocket, and then Pat also has a little GPS pocket. He makes all kinds of little accessories that can go along with it.
Let's cover the colors real quick if you're
Oh,
you're
yeah.
curious on what color it is. This is the Ranger, and then this is a foliage rangefinder pouch, and then
What size is yours again?
mine is a medium.
No, yours is a small.
Small. Mine's a small.
Small's for like the 10x42.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Size
I'm gonna be
binos.
putting a 10 by. Where'd they go? They're down there. I'm gonna be putting a 10 by 42 in them. Oh, my harness is there. Still got some stuff. Hold on, Claire. And that's gonna fit a 10 by 42,
perfect fit.
just perfect.
And Bob, you're running
Yeah, I got the large multicam.
medium.
Sorry, medium.
Medium multi-cam.
We don't know what we got yet.
The
Yeah,
large
we
would
just
be
know they're really cool.
The large is basically just for the like a 15.
Right.
just for a 15, or I know Shedneck said as well that if you're up in like the 12 for Swaros,
Mm.
especially like the range finding 12s,
Yeah.
you got to run a large. I got the and you got multicam,
Man.
obviously, Bob.
Look at that harness.
I got the medium foliage because I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna run some 12s this year, some 1250 razors. So I wanted to go up in harness size to fit those.
Yeah, and I got an older style. The Vortex Talons are a little bulkier and
Yeah.
Totally.
fit great.
They're more of like a 1250 frame already.
Totally.
They're just a bigger body bino.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
And then I got the small harness in the coyote color. So he also has a Cryptek, and there might have been one other pattern, but I know that he also has a Cryptek to go along with these color patterns. We just went with solids, and then Bob got the multicam.
Perfect.
Right on. Well, that's it for 2019 Bino Harness review. Thanks for watching.